Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. On the 12th of March, my friends, without any notice, Trinidad and Tobago lost its visa-free travel to the UK. Well, the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, who stepped down from office, who retired from office just 2 days ago, at his final convention about 3 days ago, he gave a brutal response to the British government, explaining to the people of Trinidad and Tobago exactly what took place and exactly how the British government view the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. My friends, this response is for the history books. And I'm sorry that Dr. Keith Rowley, is not Prime Minister anymore, because with this response, he would definitely win again if he had decided to stay on and contest the next election. But before I talk too much about it, I want you to listen to this brutal response by former Prime Minister Keith Rowley, Dr. Keith Rowley of Trinidad and Tobago. And then I will get back to you with my analysis. Have a listen at this response. This was made at his last party conference, saying farewell to the people of Trinidad and Tobago about 3 days ago. Have a listen, my friends.
There was a gentleman, you will see him from time to time in the newspapers giving us advice. There is a police file about him, which is a murder, with respect to a murder. He ran to England and declared himself refugee. The British embraced him. We send them the police file. They have the police file. They prefer to believe him than to believe the police. So he's a refugee. He and people like that out there making videos, sending back the videos to this country, telling their friends and their associates, some of them criminals who want to escape their criminal friends, telling them, boy, come to England, you're getting hotel, you're getting lawyer, you're getting money. Have you all seen the videos? Now, if that is what is happening out there, what do you expect? If you call in them, don't you expect them to come? And of course, as one come, 1 equal 10, 10 add more is 20, then you're 20, but double is 40. Before you know it, overnight, they're telling us, well, we had 400 people asking for refugee status. When they ask, it is a request. You can turn them down, you can tell them no, but their laws allow this process to go on for years. And of course, we are a friendly Commonwealth country. Britain is our friendly Commonwealth nation. They have in this country a high commission with staff who send reports back to London every day. I would want to know what kind of reports they are sending back to London, saying that Trinidad and Tobago is a country where our citizens require refugee protection. Last week, half of the country jumping up and down, covered in paint and skimpy clothes, playing mass. You could walk anywhere in this country and talk to anybody, and you won't tell me that we have to apologize because a handful of people decide to go abroad and lie on the nation. But they did it before. They did it in Canada. They put us on visa. What Britain has done there is not only to damage us and our feelings, but to damage our economy as well. Because London is a gateway to Europe. And every time you have to pass through London to go and do business. And worse, the visa is very expensive. So it goes from being free to being a charge on you to go to Britain. Well, yes, as far as I'm concerned, or look at charge us what all you want. But what really rots my gut is that I have to also swallow that the highest court of this land is in London, at the Privy Council. And if you want to go to the Privy Council, you have to go there by way of some arrangements that they make for you. Do you really feel independent? Where your highest court is in a foreign country and the foreign country leaders would put on the arrangements by which you could come to that country? Either your lawyers have to provide proof that you are so-and-so, or they turn down your visa request. And that is your highest access to legal support as a nation. Well, if you all didn't know that we should get out of the Privy Council and get to the Caribbean Court of Justice, this treatment by the British government should let all of you know how they view us. And if you believe that they have come around to thinking that we are equals, you have another thought coming. Many of them still believe that we are substandard, we are inferior, and they should treat us as they want to treat us. Today I want to call on our friends in the United Kingdom to review that unjust action against the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have been, and we continue to work closely with them, our security agencies, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, and our Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, to work with the British agencies to identify the ragamuffins who are living here and who will go to England and do that. And if we cooperate, and if they cooperate with us, they wouldn't have any refugee problem. But it is unfair. It is unjust. It is disgraceful that they will disregard our wider national interests, put a fee on us, and tell us why you have to come to us to have our lords tell you what is right and wrong. You have to pay for a visa to come and do that. Trinidad and Tobago must complete its independence and get to hell out of the Privy Council.
Yes, there you had it, my friends. A brutal response from former Prime Minister when he made that statement. He was Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, but he had since retired. And he ended by saying, making a great point, that imagine Trinidad and Tobago, highest court, and many other Caribbean nations, highest court is the Privy Council in England. But in order for a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago to get into that highest court now, they have to apply for a visa, pay a lot of money to get in. And if their visa is rejected, guess what? They won't get any chance to represent themselves in the highest court. The highest court, the Privy Council. That shows you that the British government do not care anything about the people of the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago. And I stand with the good people of Trinidad and Tobago. I agree with everything Dr. Keith Rowley is saying, because what he started out and explained is that somebody in Trinidad and Tobago who was under investigation left the country and applied for refugee status in the UK and got through and got all kind of free money and hotel and everything. The British government knew that he was under investigation. They got all of the police files from Trinidad and Tobago, but they decided to grant him refugee status and put him up in a hotel, give him free money for living expenses, free lawyer, everything. So that person went back and made some videos and said, man, everybody who is under investigation, you can apply for refugee to the UK and get through. And you can come to the UK and get free hotel and free lawyer and money to live for free. So what do you expect people to do? If I am under investigation and somebody tell me, man, you can apply to the UK and get through, and you go there and get free money, free hotel, live like a king, free lawyer, I'm going to take the chance and go there and apply for refugee. So that is what happened. That is why you saw the surge in refugee applications, 400 and something. That doesn't mean that the British government had to approve them. But because of that, the British government is saying they will no longer allow Trinidad and Tobago citizens to travel to the UK visa free. Something they caused initially by allowing somebody who was under investigation in Trinidad and Tobago to come to the UK and grant them refugee status. They caused that chaos to destabilize Trinidad and Tobago. And that is what the Western countries do. They create chaos in the various African and Caribbean nations, and then they do what they got to do and say, oh, you have too much crime there. You have people applying for refugees, so we can no longer give you any visa. We can no longer do this. That is what they've been doing all this time, my friends. So let us stand with Dr. Keith Rowley and the people of Trinidad and Tobago and say to the British government, your treatment of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is unfair, unjust, discriminatory, and racist, my friends. And I'm saying that straight to the British government right now. And you should reconsider what you did, because it is not a good look for your country, considering that you was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. You, Britain, was involved in the transatlantic slave trade for hundreds of years. You brought enslaved Africans from West Africa to the Caribbean, worked them from sunup to sundown for hundreds of years. That money was used to build your country. You had nothing before the slave trade. You was poor. That money for hundreds of years, free labor, cotton, sugar, rum, you got all of that for free. And you use all of that to enrich yourself, to sell all the other European countries and so at 3, 4, 500% profit, and made you rich, build up your country. And when you can no longer use the people of the Caribbean because slavery was abolished, that is when you said, oh, you can apply for independence now. And now today, fast forward today, you are making it seem like the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean are so bad, and the British is so just. The British is so great, and you do everything correctly. And reparations, you haven't paid any reparations yet. Let us receive our reparations in the Caribbean, and then we can continue to talk about fairness and reconciliation. But you haven't paid us back yet. You left us here in the Caribbean with nothing. Nothing. After we built Europe and the UK, we built you up. You built your country, and you left us here in the Caribbean. Our ancestors you left with nothing, had to start from scratch, while you was living in luxury off of the blood, sweat, and tears of our African ancestors, my friends. That is the truth. So you don't come and say you're not giving any visa and you're so great and you're so holy. No, 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 no. Cannot do that, man. Let us stand with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. If you're watching this video for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. The mission of my channel is to bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. We are one people separated by a brutal European, British slave trade and colonialism. But we're coming back together as one now. If you're watching for the first time, please consider subscribing, like this video, share it with all your friends and family, and you can also join my channel and become a channel member. I also have a travel channel. You can click the link in this description box and subscribe to my travel channel. The link is here as well to join the channel and become a member. I post videos every day on breaking news that affect the African diaspora, which includes the Caribbean nation islands, African Americans, Africans in Canada, Africans in the UK, in Europe, also in South America, Brazil, Colombia, and Belize, the Caribbean nation islands, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, Guyana, the British Virgin Islands, or the Virgin Islands. See, the British colonized some islands here in the Caribbean still, and they call them the British Virgin Islands. But there's all black people living on those islands. So they are our people there in the Virgin Islands. And the African continent is 54 African countries. To name a few, you have South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, and Ethiopia, Botswana, Gabon, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Rwanda, to name a few. Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Angola. I can go on and on and on. We have a great big family there in the African continent. So what I'm saying, we are all one people separated by a brutal European transatlantic slave trade and colonialism. Let us come back together and join in friendship, marriage, business, whatever it is. Just let us bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. My name is Beyond. The name of my channel, Beyond Uncut, and I do videos every day responding to breaking news that affect our people on the African continent and the African diaspora. Today's video was about the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago responding to the British visa requirement, now asking Trinidad and Tobago citizens to apply for full visa. They can no longer travel to the UK visa free. And this was done on the 12th of March without any notice. The British government just came out and said, because of the asylum seekers, the 400 and something asylum seekers, they will now require that Trinidad and Tobago apply for visa. And I explained to you in this video how this came about. You heard the audio clip by Dr. Rowley. My explanation: the British orchestrated this whole scenario to get what they want. But this will not end here, my friends. It will continue, and it will not break us. We are a strong Caribbean nation. We are strong African countries, and we will come together and bridge that gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. Thank you for watching this video, and of course I will see you again tomorrow in the next video. But before I go, please consider, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Just subscribe today. You can support by liking the video. Some people make a donation in the comment section through super chats. Some people share the video with their friends and family. Like the video, comment. There's a lot of ways to support this worthy journey of bridging the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. My name is Beyond. This is Beyond Uncut, and I'll see you again tomorrow in the next video. Much love. Bye-bye.